Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 31st of March 2019. We're going to reflect on Luke 15, 1 to 3, 11 to 32. We read this last week, but today we will look at the elder brother. There are a lot of lessons to be learned from him. Now all the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to listen to Jesus, and the Pharisees and the scribes were grumbling and saying, "This fellow welcomes sinners and eats with them." So Jesus told them this parable. There was a man who had two sons. The younger of them said to his father, "Father, give me the share of the property that will belong to me." So he divided his property between them. A few days later, the younger son gathered all he had and traveled to a distant country, and there he squandered his property in dissolute living. When he had spent everything, a severe famine took place throughout the country, and he began to be in need. So he went and hired himself out to one of the citizens of that country, who sent him to his fields to feed the pigs. He would gladly have filled himself with the pods that the pigs were eating, and no one gave him anything. But when he came to himself, he said, "How many of my father's hired hands have bread enough and to spare, but here I am dying of hunger. I will get up and go to my father, and I will say to him, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son. Treat me like one of your hired hands.' So he set off and went to his father. But while he was still far off, his father saw him and was filled with compassion. He ran and put his arms around him and kissed him. Then the son said to the father, 'Father, I have sinned against heaven and before you. I am no longer worthy to be called your son.' But the father said to his slaves, 'Quick, bring out a robe, the best one, and put it on him. Put a ring on his finger and sandals on his feet, and get the fatted calf and kill it. And let us eat and celebrate. For this son of mine was dead and is alive again. He was lost and is found.' And they began to celebrate. Now his elder son was in the field, and when he came and approached the house, he heard music and dancing. He called one of the slaves and asked what was going on. The slave replied, 'Your brother has come, and your father has killed the fatted calf because he has gotten back safe and sound.' Then he became angry and refused to go in. His father came out and began to plead with him, but he answered his father, 'Listen, for all these years I have been working like a slave for you, and I have never disobeyed a command. Yet you have never given me even a young goat so that I might celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours came back, who has devoured your property with prostitutes, you killed the fatted calf for him.' Then the father said to him, 'Son, you're always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But we had to celebrate and rejoice, because this brother of yours was dead and has come to life. He was lost and has been found.'" The gospel of the Lord. This is often called the parable of the lost son, although it should really be called the parable of the lost sons, because it wasn't just the one son who was lost, but two. The younger son was lost outside the house. The elder son was lost inside the house. And you might get a little kick in realizing that in the previous two parables Jesus told of the lost sheep and the lost coin, one was lost outside the house, the other was lost inside the house. We already reflected on the younger son a few days ago, the 23rd of March. So let us look at the elder son today. He is in the fields working hard when his brother returns home. We're not told why he's not made aware of the fact, but when he finishes work and makes his way toward the house, he hears the sound of merriment and enjoyment. He calls a servant and asks him what is happening, and is told that his brother has returned and his father has killed the fatted calf to celebrate. The young man is livid with rage and refuses to enter the house. So the father comes out to ask him to come in, and the boy simply explodes in rage. "Listen," he says, and one doesn't need to be told, a finger was wagging under his father's nose. "All these years I've been slaving for you and never disobeyed your orders. Yet you never gave me even a young goat so that I could celebrate with my friends. But when this son of yours," notice he doesn't say my brother, "when this son of yours who has squandered your property with prostitutes comes home, you kill the fatted calf for him." I can only imagine the sadness in the father's heart as he looks at his furious son. He says, and I'm going to fill in the blanks because there are many, "My son, you are always with me, and all that is mine is yours. But you didn't understand that, did you? You thought you had to slave. Isn't that the word you used? You had to slave for your inheritance when it is all yours. You're moaning about a single calf when everything in my estate, all the hens, the chickens, the goats, the lambs, the cows, they're all yours. And you didn't understand my love either, did you? You thought you had to earn that too. If you had understood my love for you and accepted it, you would have learned to love your brother as well. You would have mourned when he left home, and you would have rejoiced when he returned. Scripture doesn't tell us what happened next. It doesn't tell us if the elder son came into the house or he left home in anger. But as I am the younger son in this parable, if you are my elder brother, I'd like to say to you, please come in.